Well, hello guys. I am bringing you a little tutorial on how to use the skullbeast. It's my biggest avatar base. It's free, so I've got tons of people who are asking for help. Lots of new people who are using this as their first avatar, and that's awesome. But you know, there's only so much messaging I can do. So hopefully this video will help you guys out a little bit more. I'm going to go over all the basics. First of all, we're going to start off by showing you all the files you need to download, how to set up the Create Companion, how to set up Unity. We're going to do that first. Second of all, I'll show you how to import all of my files, how to get the skullbeast files, how to import your shaders, all of that important stuff. I'll show you how to upload that finished avatar. And finally, I'll show you how to quest convert your character so that you can have, once you've finished doing all your shenanigans, you can be visible on PC in Quest. Alrighty, so first of all, if you already know what you're doing with Unity and Create a Companion stuff, you can skip to this part here, which is just like how to use my files. But if you're completely brand new to this, you've never done this before, stick around, I'm going to show you what to do. So, first of all, we need to get Unity installed. So you can go to the Unity website and you want to download the Unity Hub. That'll look a little something like this. You'll be given like a login page and stuff. You can get yourself a free personal license. That's all you need. Once you've downloaded the Unity Hub, you can download the version of Unity that you need. Now, at the time I'm making this, VRChat uses the 2022.322 F1 version of Unity. So I'm going to install that. However, this will be on the VRChat website or on the Create Companion, what version you need. So take that. You know, might not necessarily be this version at the time you watch this video. You'll want Android build support. Just add that in now to save you time later. And just install that bad boy. Alright, so now that you have Unity installed, the next step is to download the Create Companion, which you can get from the VRChat website in the Download tab. It's pretty easy to set up. Just run the exe file and log into your account. It'll look a little something like this, however, without all of the projects and shit that you see here. You're going to want to create a 2022 avatar project. I'm going to call this Skullbeast Tutorial Attempt 2, because my first attempt went a little wrong, and we're going to create the project. So, before we open the project, the first thing we need to do is mess around with the packages a little bit first. So, we're going to want to add Gesture Manager. It's just useful to have. You don't need it, but it's useful. You'll see later. The next thing you're going to want to do is add the VRC Fury package, which doesn't actually come here by default. You need to go to the VRC Fury website, press this little link here. It'll tell you to open the Create Companion, and you can add the VRC Fury just like that, and then it should pop up. So you're going to want to add that. You need this for the Skullbeast. It uses VRC Fury to function, so you will need to add this. Okay, so now that's all of the packages. We can open the project. Whilst that's opening, we can head over to the Poyami GitHub page. I'm going to be using the version 7.3.050 version of the Poyami shaders. However, you can use any version above that. It should work perfectly fine. All you need to do is download any of these Unity packages from any of these versions. That's the only file you need. Alright, so when you open your first Unity project, it's going to look a little something like this. Quick overview. So you're going to be using this project tab a lot. That's where all of your files are going to be stored. The hierarchy is just like a list of everything that's in your avatar scene. And the inspector is where you're going to be editing certain values of like Fizzbones and other stuff. There's a couple of other windows which aren't up here yet. So if you go to the VRChat SDK and press Show Control Panel, you'll see this little window pop up. And the cool thing about Unity is that you can just scale everything around. You can customize it. You can put the inspector down here if you want. I quite like it up on this side, and I also like to put my VRChat SDK right next to the inspector so I can flick between the two. The other tab that we might need, you probably won't need it for the Skullbeast, but at least later down the line is you'll need the animation tab, and I like to put that down here. This will save, it'll open in the layout you last left it as in, so if you open a brand new project, these tabs will be already out for you. First things first, we need to import the Poyami shaders that we downloaded. And that's just a simple, you drag this Unity package into this assets folder, and then this little import menu will pop up. You want to press import and just let Unity do its thing. Alright, so once Poyami's in, you'll see a little folder here called Poyami shaders, and you can just ignore that, just leave it there, let it do its thing. And the next thing is we're going to need to install the skullbeast files. So, how do you get your hands on the skullbeast files? First of all, this is the product page. You'll see we have a free version and then a bunch of clothing bundles. You don't need to buy any of these clothing bundles for this thing to work. You can make this avatar completely for free. So you'll notice that the free files are exclusive to the Discord server. There's a link in the description, and if you purchase this free bundle, it will just take you to a page which will link you to the Discord server. Once you're in the server, there's a short verification process. We're generally pretty quick getting people in, and you can get yourself the verified skullbeast role once you're into the server, and from there you can download all of the files in the skullbeast zone section. You'll see you've got the Unity package, the Substance Painter files, Photoshop files, everything that you need to create this avatar. It's good to just stay in the server because I will be updating this thing fairly regularly. I've already got some stuff in the works, and it's good to make sure you're updated with the latest package and stuff. Even if you're not active in the server, it's just good to be in there. So once you have your hands on the files, the first thing we're going to want to do is import skullbeast, just the original skullbeast package. I'm using the version 1.0 at the time of this recording, but there might be some later ones when you're watching this. So it's the same process as the shaders. Just drag and drop it in there, let it do its thing, import. And once that's done, we'll see a new folder pop up called skullbeast. There it is. And in here we have a Unity scene called drag me, and you need to do exactly what it's called, and you need to drag it into the hierarchy like that, and you'll see our little guy pop up. So here's our little guy. First things first, let's sort out his ears, tail and stuff. So the cool thing about this avatar is that his ears and tail are separate, and it works via a drag and drop system. This means you can have all sorts of different shaped tails and ears just off the get-go. So I quite like the long pointy ones. So to attach them, and this is the same for all of the clothing, the horns, the tail, ears, it's the same process to attach it. So you're going to want to drag and drop into the hierarchy, and then you're going to want to drag and drop that onto skullbeast version 1.0, and you'll see it gets a little plus icon. That means it's properly attached and parented. Next thing you want to do is do your tail, obviously. I mean, if you want one. And we also have, for free, you get provided some horns. And they look a little crazy and clunky when you first put them on. And that's because you're supposed to double click them till they turn orange. You can press the drop down as blend shapes key, and you can hide the ones you don't want. And you can make your own looking funky thing like that. Perfect. And that's all ready to upload. Let's say you've made some textures, you've downloaded the Photoshop files or the Substance Painter files, and you've made your own colors. Great. So to change the colors, you're going to want to go into the materials folder, and you will see all of these little balls. So these balls are materials, and they make up your avatars. Alright, so let's say you've made your own textures and you want to add these to your avatar. It's very simple. We're just going to drag them and drop them into this folder, and we're going to replace the little texture file with the texture file that you created. So this is the body material. So you're going to want to drag the new body material like that. You'll see it change. This avatar does have two body materials. For the male and female normal maps, they're slightly different. So you need to remember to change the body twice. If you see a shader and it says unlock shader, you just want to press unlock, and then it'll let you edit it. Otherwise it's going to be all grayed out and it won't let you click on anything. Don't worry about locking it in again. It'll do that automatically when you upload the avatar. I'm just going to quickly add the textures for the rest of these materials. and the horns don't use a texture. You just want to double click on those, press the drop down on the material, or you can find it in the folders and just change the color manually like that. So now you've added your own textures, you are ready to upload. All of the gestures, facial expressions, fizz bones, contacts, they're all set up for you. You haven't got to worry about any of that. Alright, so now that's done, we can name our avatar. I'm just going to call this Tutorial Boy. You can add your own images and stuff. I like to go into VRChat, take a picture and use that as the thumbnail, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to capture from scene. Anything red like this, typically you can autofix. If not, you can usually just ignore errors. If you check this box and the build and publish is still, it'll still let you press it, just ignore any errors that you have on here. They usually aren't very important. Right, so I have actually, this is quite a common error that a lot of people get, where it says fail to build VRC Fury components. I'll say something along the lines of attempted to load the data for an avatar we do not own. I'm clearing the blueprint ID. This is very easy to fix. You just want to close down your project, press save. I'm just going to call it scene, and then reopen your project again. Build and publish, and you see it goes through this time. I've seen a lot of people struggling with that error in the server. It's a pretty simple fix. Literally just clear your blueprint ID, close down the project and reopen it, and that should fix it. Again, another good reason to join the server. Like if you're encountering errors like that and you don't know what they mean, most likely someone's had that problem in the server before, and you can get tech support pretty quickly from someone in there. Alrighty. And just the final thing, before I show you how to make things Quest compatible, I'm just going to show you how the clothing works. It's very simple. It works almost the exact same way as the any other Unity package, and how the ears and stuff work. You'll notice when you import it, it's not going to be in the skullbeast folder. It's going to be in just the first folder in your Unity project. Whichever ones you've imported, you'll see them here. It's very easy to use. You've got your prefabs all here, which are already set up for you. So let's say I want the jacket, the shorts, and the collar. You want to drag those into your hierarchy and then attach them to the skullbeast like so. You don't have to worry about turning them on or off in here like that, because when you upload the avatar, VRC Fury will do this automatically for you. So by default, all of these clothes will be hidden, and you'll have a little option on your mini radial to turn them on and off. That's all set up automatically for you. You don't have to worry about any of that. Alright, so now you've uploaded the PC version, I'm going to show you how to make it Quest compatible. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is close down your project. And what I like to do is I like to go and open my project folder. This is the file for our Unity project. You can get to it through the Create a Companion like I did, where you can open the project folder. And what you're going to want to do is just copy and paste that by using Control-V. All we're doing here is we're creating a backup folder for us to go back onto if we ever want to do updates to the PC version again. Once you've got your copy, we can rename it to PC Backup. We can close this, and now we can open back up the original project files. Alright, once you're back into the project, you'll see if we go into the VRChat SDK and go into the Builder, we have a selected platform drop down, and if we change that to Android, it'll give us this little pop-up. We're going to press confirm, and it's going to change its platform to Android, which is what the Quest systems run on. Alright, so once that's done, you'll see nothing's really changed. However, if we go onto the Builder, you'll see there is a lot more errors. These are things like, so there's a couple of which we can auto-fix. However, lots of these ones, especially the ones that say avatar uses unsupported shader, hidden poemi toon, they will not have an auto-fix button. So what you need to do about that is go to our materials folder, and we need to change every material that's used on this avatar to something Quest compatible. Easiest way to do that is just to press on all of your textures, and I like to go to VRChat, mobile, standard light, and just do that for all of them. Alright, so in the version 1.0 files, their specular is often a problem for people who are new to avatar creation. So the specular layer is this shiny material that sits outside the eye, and you'll notice that when we change the shader to standard light, like I said, it just goes completely white. You can't make it transparent. That's because transparency is quite a hard thing to do on Quest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to include a Quest shader that you can just drag and drop instead of having to do this. However, if you are using the old project files, what you need to do, you need to go to VRChat, mobile, particles, additive, and then this little white cube here, you need to replace with an empty texture. So all this is I've gone into a painting program, a new texture, which is 64 pixels by 64 pixels. It can be anything. And you just export it like this as a transparent PNG. You just need an empty transparent PNG to add to your texture file in the specular, and you'll see that your eyes are now visible again on Quest. It can be a little bit annoying to find all of the shaders, but just keep an eye on the Builder tab until there is no shader errors left. The final error that we have right now is that there is 13 Fizzbone components. I am playing an update which is going to reduce this. However, it's still pretty common for you to go over the limit of 8 on Quest, and you need to know how to remove that. So if you are over the limit of 8, you need to remove some Fizzbones. So you need to choose which Fizzbones you want to keep. Personally, I think less important ones are like the chest fluff. So if you want to remove the chest fluff Fizzbones, we need to find the chest fluff bones here. Go into our inspector tab, and we can remove them like this. I think another not so important one is the boob bones. That puts us at 9, so we need to remove one more. If I remove this one, you'll see we no longer have the error. However, as I said before, I am planning an update which will make the Fizzbones a bit more optimized, so you will be able to have all of the Fizzbones enabled at once on Quest in the planned update, which shouldn't be long after the release of this video, so don't worry about it. That is everything, technically, that you need to make Quest compatible. You'll see that we now have the build and publish available. I'm going to give it a go, and that seemed to work. Alright, so occasionally, especially if you have lots of clothing and stuff, it'll give you an error halfway through that upload process, and it will say that your texture limit is above 10 megabytes. If you get that error, it's very easy to fix. Sometimes you might just have too much shit on your avatar and you need to take off a couple of bits of clothing for the Quest version. However, most of the time it can be fixed by just going onto all of your textures and compressing them a little bit. So turning the resolution down to 1000, you'll see that they get a little bit not quite so clear. However, that saves up a lot of memory, as you can see, just by changing it to 1000. We're saving almost 2 megabytes of storage. We could do the same for this. For the eyes, we could put them at maybe like 500, and you've already saved like quite a few megabytes of storage just by optimizing these textures a little bit. And you can do that for all of your clothing, for all of the body, everything. That's basically everything you need to know to make it Quest compatible. Awesome. So if we head into your uploaded avatars, you will be able to see the tutorial avatar there. I'm not sure why it's not showing the Quest compatibility, because we did make it Quest compatible. Maybe it hasn't quite updated yet. We press change into avatar. We can see, not using my full body right now, sorry. that everything is working as expected. Pretty cool. We've got all of the toggles already set up. You don't have to do any of that. You can control the fluff for different clothing. You have all the radials to change gender of the character. You can change the size of the snoot. All of this is already set up for you. Once you've made your avatar and you've tested it out a bit, remember to leave a good rating on my Gumroad page. It makes me look cool, it helps me out, and I really appreciate it when you guys do that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped out a lot. I've tried to make it as clear as possible and easy to understand for beginners. The drag and drop system really is like magic once you get used to it. It just saves you so much time. If you need help, there's always going to be help down in the server, in the help channels, or you can contact me directly through my website or through directly in my server.